Big cat, how you came to be is no longer a mystery. Black sheep is your birthright. It's code for the one who brings the light. I bet if there's a crack, you don't fall back. Remember who you are. No rest for the wicked with their skullduggery. The use spell workers' projection to send out envy, hate, and jealousy. You are the prototype, your ancestors champion. They shield you and send back those spiritual attacks. You are divinely protected from the dummy bats. Yeah. Big cat, the most high, got your back. He sits high and looks low, so don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Big cat, move in silence. Only time you speak is to say checkmate.
Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome or welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. May your comings and goings be forever covered by the grace of the Most High. When in doubt, go within. Bestie, oi, are you fabulous, gorgeous and lovely? Are you loving it, not hating it? Let's see, let's see. We'll dive right in and unpack. Let me turn down this music. Yeah, I'm shouting against myself then, darling dears. Oh, you have the energy of the double three. We all know that the double three speaks about what? Lurkers, darling dears, gossipers, people spying on what you've got going on. People outside your perimeter always see when your life is taking a new path, darling dears. And them don't like it. So there's a lot of gossip out there in them streets, darling dears. Yes, there is. Lots of conflict. And there may be people trying to pull you out, draw you out, darling dears, into tongue wrestling, and God forbid, tussling in the dust, darling dears. Good golly, and the gosh, and the gosh. You may want to rebel against all of these things that's being bandied around by these merchants of slander, darling dears. But it's better to be diplomatic. Not every battle must you attend. Okay. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. The energy of the double three. It speaks of some form of money coming towards you, darling dears. I know I had to bring in the ta-da! Yeah. I had to bring in some of this. But it's not the booby prize, darling dears. No, it's not. You're getting some of this. Being delivered. Tooth sweet. Remember I told you that. But in this money being delivered onto you, darling dears, you have to be careful of no one trying to trick you into losing your money in an investment or into some kind of bet, whatever, darling dears. This is about you guarding your financial future against the skullduggerous. Yes, baby. All of this and that. Okay. According to the low shoe grid, darling dears, lean in, bestie. The energy of the 6 is representative of the northwest direction. Maybe you're moving towards it or something coming towards you from that direction, darling dears. The energy of the 6 also says there's going to be a lot of helpful people put in place to assist you. It speaks about you diving deeper into your spiritual life, darling dears. And any form of travel is going to bode well for you over the next few days. Remember I told you that. Okay. All right, let's move on. According to the energy of the 6 in the oh my gosh, come on case, the 48 laws of power, right? It's about you courting attention at all costs, darling dears. Okay, Well, never more than you can afford to lose, darling dears. And it also speaks about someone possibly in the public arena. And again, some Skrilla is about to be delivered onto you. You don't see it coming, darling dears, but it's yours. Be careful of the hoodwinkers. But they also caught the attention at all costs, darling dears. Be careful of being abused in your position, darling dears, as you caught this attention. People coming in as skullduggerous. Okay. The energy of the 6, according to the rune stones, darling dears, is representative of Canas. This is knowledge, darling dear, hermit energy. It speaks about you being extremely creative at this moment in time. It speaks about you going through some form of revelation, but this revelation came on the wings of what? Knowledge, darling dears. It also speaks about you applying your creativity. You're being inspiring to many. Hermit energy, darling dears. I love it. I don't hate it. It tells me that there's been a time, or you've been through a time, where you've been walking a solitary path. Even if you're in a relationship, darling dears, you have to grow on your own. And it's fabulous, gorgeous and lovely if people can grow with you. If not, you grow away, darling dears. You give them the full-on what? Easter Island and Stevie Wonder. It also speaks about maybe somebody's going to be going into a new level of study, or studying, darling dears, or be in a position where you're a teacher. Okay, you had to have this solitary period because it gave you a new level of wisdom, darling dears. Wisdom in the choices of relationships that you have. Okay, let's press on. Let's press on. The energy of the double 6, darling dears, according to the major arcana, is representative of the lovers, Gemini energy, air energy. This is also what? Mercury energy, darling dears. Again, you're making right choices, and some people will be going into a union. Remember, I told you that the union could be a love relationship. It could be a business partnership. A supportive relationship. Yeah. It also speaks about the energy of the 6. You've got some kind of invitation coming towards you, darling dears. It's also telling me that you must continue to be what? Quick thinking, darling dears, as well as futuristic thinking. Somebody's also in a position where they're going to be starting a family. Make sure that you can trust the partner that you're having the baby with. Remember, you make the wrong choice of partner, you pay at the back end, darling dears. The back end, without the Vaseline. Remember, I told you that. Okay. The energy of the 6, you could be a life path 6 or a number 3. The number 6 is representative of the letters numbers 6, 15 and 24, and the letters F, O and X. The number 6 is ruled by Venus. Venus rules Taurus as well as Libra. So Venus in Taurus, right, is about sensual pleasures, seeking pleasures. It's also the 2nd house, darling dears, the house of your self-worth, how you get your monies, darling dears, people you see as close family members. Your possessions in the terms of, I don't know, investments, like your clothes, your furniture. It's also about the 2nd house, about your hidden talents. You're utilizing your talents from the past, darling dears. This is what has put you in this position. You may have recently left a government position or about to leave a government position, whether it's through retirement or moving on to a different job. But it's definitely a major change coming towards you, and there's money associated with this. Remember, I told you that. You're being put in a position where you're going to be able to meet your obligations. Venus also rules Libra, darling dears. So it's your one-to-one relationships, your partnerships, darling dears. The Libra energy is also representative of exes, open enemies. One-to-one relationships, darling dears, whether in a marriage, as I said, partnerships, friendships. Somebody's also in a negotiation stage of some kind of funds coming towards them, something to do with your lower back. The energy of Libra also speaks about astrology. You may be into astrology, darling dears, or as I said, learning new things, or being put in a position to teach new things, darling dears. The energy of Libra also tells me that somebody is a runaway, darling dears. This person has an issue, something going on with their lower back or their kidneys. Remember, I told you that. Okay. The 7th house is also about public gatherings, darling dears. how you deal with the public, how you handle yourself in the public. Okay, we've also got the energy of the 11. The 11 is representative of Uranus energy, Aquarius energy. Okay, so the sudden change of a situation. It's also people looking at how money is being paid to you. Okay. Okay, so the letters for the number 6 is FOX, and Venus is Taurus and Libra, which is UV and W. You're a natural healer. You have a different type of sense of humor, darling dears. You're different. You're different with how you portray your humor, darling dears. Your luckiest days will be the 3-6. Sorry, your luckiest numbers will be the 3-6-9. The luckiest days will be Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. The number 6 is supported by the astrological aspect of a sextile, darling dears. This is something that is extremely supporting, and it promotes harmonious relationships with a business, love, friendship, darling dears. It tells me the energy of the 6 tells me that you've learned from some kind of past mistake, and it also speaks about overcoming some kind of karma, being released from said karma, creating a new level of balance in your life. You're extremely caring. You could be a parent. You're family orientated. Yeah. But it also speaks about your social side of life, darling dears. It's about to pick up in a big way. It's definitely money coming towards you. You may be in the beauty fields, beautifying yourself. Okay. And it also speaks about changing your looks, darling dears. Yeah. You're realizing the value of yourself at this moment in time, darling dears. This is what is standing you in good stead to move forward to whatever it is that's coming towards you. But whatever it is, there's money attached. Okay. On the side of the dice, we've got we've got an 11-11, darling dears, an 11-11 fade. Parties, celebrations, somebody buying property, darling dears, a new home. Things coming towards you, darling dears. I love it. I don't hate it. The energy, because it's the 11-11, let's again speak about the 11th house. So it could represent fans, it's groups, memberships that you're a part of. It's representative of your older siblings, darling dears, adoptive family members. Somebody's also going to be getting some kind of regulation, some kind of legislation or regulations laid upon them, darling dears. But you're going to be in a position where you'll be able to overcome it. So funds, as I said, is on its way. Money coming towards you, whether from an employer or whomsoever this benefactor, whomsoever provides your funds, darling dears. It's telling you to also be on guard against any form of flattery. The energy of the 11th house is also technology, so something that you could possibly be doing online, darling dears. Something to do with your futuristic thinking. It's going to create a lot of business contacts for you, darling dears. Love it. I don't hate it. Have we finished with the outside stuff? Because I give you so many hints, darling dears. You can find it in the life path numbers. Oh yes, the energy of the 33. You're a spiritual teacher, darling dears. So you're here to teach people a lesson. I don't know, but it also speaks about you being extremely peaceful. You're resilient, darling dears. Oh child. A master manifester, darling dears. A bit like a magician having all of the tools, but this is about you having the intellect and the knowledge to apply said tools. Manifestation mode. Fist bump. What I'm reading at the moment, The Psychology of Money. No, this is not a paid promotion, but it teaches you about how you act. If you're gonna, when you get money, do you just go for the immediate gratification, or have you learned how to save? This is a fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely book. Okay, let's press on. So people are talking. They're always talking. Let's get a deck that I haven't used in a while. Let me stand up so I can drop down and get my eagle on. I'm gonna go with the white cards. What's this? Yeah, you gave too much in a situation, darling. Of course they're going to miss you. Whomsoever they are, they, them, and yeah. Blindfold. You was wearing the blindfold, darling dears, until you decided to what? Take that blindfold off and crush it under your flip-flops. What's that? Your flip-flops of common sense, darling dears. Yeah. You was blindfolded in a situation where you gave too much, right? But you're now getting a what? A leg up from the divine. I told you, things are changing in your hemisphere, darling dears. And people on the outside are paying close attention. Energy of the 12th house is of fans. People call them haters. I say fans, darling dears. They're fans. The universe is about to say to you, whatever you like. Whatever you like. Base of the deck, you're moving towards your milk and honey. I told you, Skrilla.com is on the way, darling dears. Whatever they're going to try and push towards you, darling dears, it's too little and it's too late. Okay, let's get the overall outside message. We're going to use this one. It's a good shufti. Oh wow, the one facing upwards is the Lady Goddess, darling dears. Big Cat Empress energy. Remember, when it comes to a lotus, darling dears, a lotus will blossom in the dirtiest of waters. Remember, I told you that. So yes, you've been through some things, darling dears. All of the this and the that at your back, it looks like a full moon to me, darling dears. Okay, so this speaks about some kind of spiritual completion. This is a time for you to celebrate and reflect, darling dears, of what you have overcome, because you are more than a conqueror. Remember, I told you that. Love it. Divine feminine energy. You could be in your divine feminine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energies, darling dears. So it tells me that you're extremely nurturing. It also speaks about some people are seeing you as a good confident, but it speaks about your self-worth, darling dears. Knowing your worth and adding tax. Good golly. And the gosh, divine feminine energy. This is Earth as well as Venus energy. And are we not just talking about the Venus energy here? Listen, baby. Let's see. Yeah, you cleansed. You've been doing your shadow work, darling dears. This is not an easy task. It's not. Especially when dysfunction has run rampant in your life, darling dears. This was not an easy task, but you faced that shadow side of yourself, darling dears. You've had a full-on cleansing, but with the full moon at the back, it's also a reminder that somebody needs to do what? A cutting of the soul ties, darling dears, once and for all. Letting go of those energies that no longer serve you. Yeah, because it's the rise of the big cat, darling dears. The birth of you, rebirth of you, darling dears. Can you not see? From the ashes, baby, as the phoenix rises, darling dears. Yeah, you may have been feeling stagnant or stuck. This is water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, the scrying mirror. This also reminds me of the moon, darling dears. There was a lot of things that you held onto for a long time, things that were not true about you. It was true as far as someone else's opinion, but it was you taking on the opinion of someone else. Listen, we've all got opinions, and some are more looser and flatulent than others, darling dears. Okay, let's move on. So you're about to get whatever you like, eh? Ooh, fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Okay, let's get a deck I have not used in a while. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay. I had to roll myself back, darling, it is, and I did it all by myself. Base of the deck, you have the 8 of Cups, definitely moving on from a situation, darling dears. I love it. I don't hate it. The 8 of Cups, as I said, moving on from a situation. It's also a traveling card, darling dears. It also tells me that you have the restart button. You've changed your direction, darling dears, moving on from something that was possibly traumatic, trauma and drama, darling dears. Two dastardly duos, darling dears. Trauma and the drama. Real hairline taking stuff. Yeah, but it's not about moving on from a situation, darling dears. It's not about you giving up, darling dears. This is about you choosing you over everything else. And again, it speaks about resignation. Somebody's leaving a job, darling dears. You've come to the end of the line, darling dears. If you're moving towards retirement, remember, this is the beginning of the rest of your life. And if you are retiring, darling dears, it means that you've already lived the greatest part of your life, the hardest part of your life. This is now smooth sailing. And again, we have another full moon in the background, darling dears. Okay. The full moon is a time of what? Culmination of something that you've been working towards from the new moon. So whatever you set your intentions for at the new moon, it will manifest at the full moon. Remember, I told you that. The next full moon is on the 17th of October, I believe, in Aries. Solar eclipse in Aries, darling dears. Absolutely fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely. Okay. Yeah. You was right to walk away from all those things that no longer fulfilled you, darling dears, especially emotionally. Yeah, you walk towards a more deeper meaning of life, and this is giving you the milk and honey. This is what is gifting you with this leg up from the Most High. Let's give it a good shufti. See what else is going on in these streets. Okay. Oh, fell off the back end, darling dears. We've got the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands speaks about you letting go of toxic temporary situations, darling dears. You assessing how far you've come. But it's not about how far you've come, darling dears. It's about you enjoying the journey, not just the destination, because the destination is dead blood. You've discovered so many new things about yourself, and you're making right decisions going forward, letting go of toxic temporary things. Yeah, for some this would look like you're at some kind of crossroads, but at this crossroads you're not confused, darling dears. You're planning the next steps towards your goals. Yeah, definitely a time where you're considering your future and you're making more strategic decisions. This is about you trusting in your vision, darling dears. Yeah, and be willing to take calculated risks. This is what the fire energy is all about. Love it. Two of Wands. New discoveries about yourself. The Two of Wands is also a traveling card. We've seen 2 traveling cards. So travel is definitely on the cards for you. Good golly. Oh, and the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh. The Four of Swords is Jupiter in Libra, air energy, darling dears. This is you. The Four of Swords in the reverse is walking away from a bad relationship. This relationship could have caused some kind of a health issue within you, darling dears. The bad relationship could have been a lot of rivalry, not necessarily from a partner. It could be family members, darling dears. I'm telling you. Yeah. Especially if their family decided not to like you, darling dears. They will work against you and they will cover up the indiscretions of whomsoever your partner might be. Yeah. Some people see you as you're discovering new things about yourself, darling dears, and some people are seeing that you're running away from the dysfunction or the problems within a situation. No, it's not, darling dears. Four of Swords is telling you that you don't need to be on the knife's edge. You don't. We all have a choice, darling dears. We do. This is about you. The Four of Swords is about you letting go of the disappointments in your past, darling dears. Again, the shadow work. And the what? The cleansing that you've done on yourself. There's a lot of dark energy around you, darling dears, but it's not coming up out of the water. This is something that you are overcoming. Remember, I told you that. It could also represent addiction, some kind of addictive behavior. Let me tell you something. If you've got an addictive behavior, trust and believe. This full moon solar eclipse in Aries, it's going to deal with it, darling dears, because this is the energy of Venus. Venus is about comfortability. It's about the foods as well, darling dears, things that you take on. It's also the releasing of some kind of legal issues, swords energy, darling dears. This could also speak about something being discovered within a case, darling dears, which is going to go in your favor. Remember, I told you that. All right. Yeah, who wants to be on a knife's edge, blood? With their hair looking like a reverse friar top. Not I, said the cat. This is a time, Four of Swords, is a time for you to be willing to re-engage with life, darling dears. Yeah, Queen of Swords, definitely been through something. The Queen of Swords, when she shows up, this person is highly intelligent, darling dears. Spiritually guided. Love it. I don't hate it. The Queen of Swords is water and air energy, darling dears. Yeah, definitely a quick thinker, but it also speaks about wanting to be in situations where you have a true common interest. This could also represent a divorced man or woman, darling dears, but somebody who's left a situation where there was a lot of confusion. I told you, issues affecting your physical health, disappointment, unhappiness. You've left that situation. I'm also seeing an injection here, darling dears. Maybe you have to get injections. I just heard cortisone. Is it cortisone? Whatever, blood. Whatever. You're leaving a situation. All of the swords could also represent some kind of electrical impulse, darling dear. So something to do with your nervous system. Yeah, something to do with that, darling dears. But you're more confident about yourself. Look at this, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. Whenever we see a gateway or an archway, darling dears, it tells me new opportunities are coming towards you. Yes. For some, this is some kind of admission. You're going to gain entry to something, darling dears. But it's definitely about your what? Your transition. And the initiatives that you have been making for yourself, darling dears. Okay. Tell me some more about the Queen of Swords. Yeah, look at this, darling dears. Full on judgment, mate. Yeah, somebody from the past would like to return to your situation, darling dears. 10th cup, you was the best they ever had. Listen, you brought alignment to the situation, possibly gave everything, darling dears. 6 of Swords is don't take them back, blood. They, them, and whomsoever they, them, and are to you, darling dears. This is a waste man or woman, darling dears. A full-on homosexual. This pentacle is in the reverse. The money's funny, blood. Their money is funny. It speaks about debt, darling dears. All level of debt. Karmic debt, yes, baby. As well as physical debt. They got a lot going on here. Yeah. 2 of Pentacles on its forehead. Someone or someone's in a situation where there's a lot of depression, darling dears. As I said, they were experiencing a lot of losses. This person is talentless. They haven't got everybody's got talents, but they haven't utilized it, darling dears. This is somebody that relies on someone else for their money, darling dears. This is someone that is in a situation where they're paying 50-50, but their 50 don't quite make the other 50, if you get my meaning. This and that, darling dears. This and that. Okay. Definitely struggling to maintain their obligations. They're feeling extremely overwhelmed at this moment in time, darling dears, trying to find this balance. And I told you they've got health issues. Okay. The 2 of Pentacles, darling dears, is Capricorn energy, and it's also Jupiter energy. Okay. So Capricorn is what? Saturn energy, darling dears. So they're having issues with their skin, their bones, their teeth, their knees and their ears. And the Jupiter energy is their hips, the liver, the thighs, the pituitary gland, cell nutrition. Cell nutrition, is that a word? Is it a word? I'd like to send out a lifeline, darling dears. They're having issues with their womb. Remember I told you that? Okay. Saturn again, the bladder and the kidneys. I just said the kidneys and the lower back, darling dears. Somebody's having issues with that. 3 of Cups. This is the ending of a situation, darling dears. We ain't friends no more, if that. Yeah. The 2 of Wands, facing outwards, looking towards this new beginning you're creating for yourself, discovering new things about yourself, darling dears. And it also speaks about your strength when you gained more clarity in a situation, letting go of the disappointment and the illness that was created by these disappointments, darling dears. 3 of Cups could also represent a third party, as I said. It could be a lover, it could be a friend, but someone that was definitely against you. Well, guess what? They got what they asked for, darling dears. You are now solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. 9 of Pentacles. Love it, I don't hate it. You know your worth, and you have the Wheel of Fortune. So where you are right now, as I said, this was destined. This was fated, darling dears. Yeah. Where you are right now, darling dears, divine is gifting you with whatever you like, right? In the words of Eleanor Roosevelt, well, I'm going to say my own words, but this is what it means. It says, "Do you boo? Do you boo?" She also said, "Go so far you can't hear the critics talking, blood." Yeah, keep going. Yeah, creating a stable foundation, a new home, a new apartment. It could also speak about a new business address, darling dears. It also speaks about your money. You're more careful with your funds, darling dears. Magician, you was dealing with con people. People conned you out of everything. And it's not just the money, darling dears. Wasting your time, your energies, your emotions, darling dears. Oh my God. One's in the reverse. It could have been a situation where they was cheating, so they put your health at risk. It's all there. It's all there. Oh, I can't make it up. 10 of Swords on the 4 of Swords, darling dears. You was put in a tight and difficult situation. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears. And the gosh. The 10 of Swords speaks about lots of endings. You've had a lot of endings. As I said, you've done the shadow work. You've done the cleansing. Some people still have to what? Cut some more soul ties. Remember, I told you that. The good, the golly, and the gosh. Okay. Yeah, 10 of Swords is back, front, neck, tabbing, darling dears. You was always getting bad news in this situation. And again, this is showing some kind of surgery. Somebody's going to have some kind of surgery, darling dears. It's definitely going to be a health matter. Okay. 5 of Pentacles in the upright, darling dears, is Taurus. Mercury in Taurus, darling dears. 5 of Pentacles. It speaks about you coming from a situation. Listen, where you had all the backstabbing, all the talking, all of the things that was drawing you back, darling dears, it was keeping you stuck, and it was keeping you with what? A limited mentality created around your money, around your everything, darling dears. Yeah, that's why divine says, put it down. Put it down. Just like those people in Tampa, Florida, that went and what? Dug up a gravesite, darling dears. Yes, they did. Right? They dug it up. Right? They should have put it back. Why is it that when people go and find things so buried, right, they go and dig it up? I saw this lady on TikTok, right? It's a black lady, and she has all of this dramatic eye makeup. She looks good, man. She look good. She all right, man. But anyway, this person found this they was in a house, and then they dug out the wall for some reason, and then they found all of this shit wrapped up, right, in a special parchment paper, and it had all of these weird shit in it, blood. Why would you take it out? Put it back. What you do, you put it back, right, and then you go and get your bricks and mortar, you brick and mortar it up, darling dears, and you put your house up for sale. You leave that shit alone. Yeah, drop the burden, blood. Drop that burden. Because love, darling dears, especially the love that you express to yourself, is coming towards you. It also speaks about an offer in juxtaposed to the Wheel of Fortune, a new car, a new home, a new job, an opportunity for foreign travel, foreign people, foreign lands, darling dears. Or that's what's coming towards you. We already saw the Northwest, darling dears. Okay. Yeah. What's this? 5 of Wands. It's also telling you what? Don't argue with no one, darling dears. You haven't got the time to tongue wrestle with the feeble-minded. This and that. Yeah. People that you've left behind, darling dears, they feared you leaving that situation behind. Yes. But you had to take the choice, Queen of Swords. You had to move away from all of this conflict, covert and overt, darling dears. You simply had to. The five of Wands in the reverse, it also speaks about if he was in a partnership, this partner was very impatient with you, darling dears. Yeah, created a lot of difficulties in the situation. 5 of Wands in the reverse speaks of violence within a situation. It's about you continuing to avoid confrontations from these people in the past that would like to return, darling dears. This is how you're going to maintain your own peace. And you must find peace by any means necessary, darling dears. Like Medea said, there's only two places that we can have peace on this Malkuth, darling dears. Right? In your house and the grave, darling dears. And you shouldn't wait until the grave to have peace. You shouldn't. None of us know the day, the hour, or the minute when we have to go, darling dears. And when it's time to go, there is nothing we can take with us. But it's the impression that you leave on other people, darling dears. That is where your story will go on, darling dears. The impression you leave on other people, the wisdom you give to other people, being of service to another person. Base of the deck, you've got a message coming towards you. 8 of Wands underneath the Queen of Swords. It could be in the form of some kind of contract, darling dears, that you're going to be signing. Yeah, legal situation. You're going to be signing a contract. The Queen of Swords and the Ace of Wands, again, this speaks about new social contacts coming towards you. For some, this is an Emperor. Emperor to the Empress, darling dears. Definitely going into a union. Remember, I told you that. Yeah, World card. Not moving on from that union. Remember, I told you that. And again, it speaks on underneath the Judgment. There's people still got an issue with you, mate. They'll always have an issue with you. Moon energy. Yeah, the back front neck tabbers, darling dears, that like to go for the white meat. These people are fools. Yeah. Full on idiots, darling dears. They took a gamble and a risk on you, darling dears, and they lost. Whatever you gave in that situation, darling dears, that what it was given, and it was given in peace. Right? But now it's over. It's about also not allowing yourself to be taken advantage of. Tower moment. There's a tower moment coming, darling dears. You have funds coming towards you, and people who are looking on the outside, trust and believe me, they've been working it out on their cash register. And don't think it's just about the money, darling dears. You as a big cat, the prototype of your lineage, you bring so much to the tableau. Those people were nothing but a tampon string in your life. Always intruding and evasive, darling dears. This is your rebirth, darling dears. And underneath that, we've got the Watchtower of Spring. So something is most definitely coming towards you in the spring months, darling dears. Okay? Spring energy is air energy, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. We've had a lot of air energy out, darling dears. It's about you utilizing your vision. I said futuristic thinking, darling dears. Something's coming on top. You could be into tarot cards, but it also speaks about someone getting a reading on you. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. Yeah, someone's trying to find out some secrets on you, darling dears. They want to have something under their belt. But whatever they listen, baby, bestie. Oi, the mouth, what people have to say about you, darling dears, that's when they knew you. You are not the same cat you used to be. Even if it was flipping last week, last night, you ain't the same cat. It's about evolution, moving on. These people wanted to keep you tied up in karmic cycles of competition. Secret competition you didn't even know you was invited to. Imagine that. Imagine. That's straight up what? Point A and point B, guys, which takes you straight to dummy bat territory. Law number 10 of the 48 laws of power. Avoid, avoid, avoid. What else? Yeah, someone was definitely manipulative. We've got the Death card. This is Scorpio energy. This situation is over. There's a karmic situation or karmic cycles in your life. Hermit energy in the reverse, darling dears. This was you walking alone for a period. This is your coming out party, darling dears. Hey, I'm coming out. Yes, you want, no, you don't want the world to know. You move in silencio. Yeah, law number 4 of the 48 laws of power. You say less. Hey, you've learned to say less, darling dears. And again, the energy of the 8, money coming towards you, whether from an inheritance, insurance, retirement. But the energy of the 8 is also what? The marriage house. We already saw the Emperor and the Empress. Knight of Pentacles on his forehead, darling dears. on his forehead. Yeah, he was dealing with people that was emotionally cold, darling dears, full on shady. If it was a business partnership, no man, they was ruthless, and they are facing some form of bankruptcy. I told you, loss of monies. This is possibly why they're gonna try and come with the begging bowl. Remember, I told you that. Knight of Pentacles on his forehead is a narc, straight up, darling. There's a narcissist, a psychopath, or a sociopath, and they don't have no certificate, right, from a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or an exorcist, darling. There's none of those certifications do they have. Yeah. This person was extremely dependent on you, darling, but they've never thought you'd stand up and choose you in a situation. Highly sexual card as well, darling dears. The 8th house, as I said, it's occult energy. Maybe you've learned about the occult, your astrology, numerology, and tarot, or whatever it is, right? Also, in the upright, you're releasing yourself from karmic debt of that situation. Yeah, you were stuck there for a long time, blood. Nearly thought you couldn't come out. Now we've got 2 8s on the tableau, darling dears. When we see 2 8s in the reverse, this situation with these people or person was meant to be brief. They was only meant to be around for a little while, darlings, is why you worked out who they were and then ran away like Tinky Winky. You stayed in a situation too long, darling dears. This is why they was able to what? Play in your face, blood. Play in your face. In the UK, we call it your boat race, darling dears. They was playing in your boat race. Yeah. This is why there possibly was a lot of the lingering regrets of the situation, but this is all about your shadow work, darling dears. Facing your part, their part in the situation, and calling back your energy from every place, person, and thing. Yeah. They do not. You are a sentient being. Nobody can claim your energy unless you give it away. We don't do that anymore. 2 of Cups, pouring back into yourself, making right choices and meeting new partners. This could also, and again, it's a full moon, darling dears. Someone's going to meet this new person around the full moon. That's the 3rd full moon I've seen, darling dears. Around the full moon. Okay, the full moon energy is for 2 weeks. Is it for 2 weeks before and 2 weeks after? You're about to meet somebody new, darling. King of Cups. Let it be the King of Cups, a sweetie. This is somebody who's set, darling dears. Either they're an old soul or they're over the age of 35. This is someone who is slow to speak. There will be adoring, darling dears. Listen, baby. Go for it, darling dears. Yeah. 4 of Cups, because you don't care about what you left behind. And again, it's about the what? Shadow work. You've been doing it like a boss, darling dears. Yeah. 100%. Feeling a more you're gonna start feeling more motivated, darling dears, feeling that zest for life. It's about you overcoming all of these past traumatic experiences. Yeah, these flipping distractions. Yeah, from the feeble-minded. Yeah. It also speaks about people that's been admiring you, darling dears, but you've been ignoring everybody up to this point. Well, guess what? No more, darling dears. King of Cups is on his way. King of Cups could also represent what? A harmonious business partnership. Remember, I told you that. Okay. Let's get one final card. We're going to go over the soul cards to finish out this read. Anytime you doubt yourself, darling dears, dip back into your what? Imagination. Remember, it's only the wicked trying to what? Change your mind into what? Bottom feeding ways, darling dears. Listen, you have to have some form of adversity to have something to overcome, darling dears. Yeah, and again, it's speaking about your humor. You're different, mate. And remember, take pride in what you've overcome, darling dears. Not everybody can do that. You have new networks coming towards you. Remember, as a big cat, we feel awe and rise. Remember, I told you that. On that note, I drops me mic. Todd love to my Teesprings, my Patreon, or my TikToks for where I upload my other videos. Thank you very much, Big Cat, for continuing to support me and this channel. And as I always say, don't get smoked. on, smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat cat.